Hey Lions, it's your girl Precious and welcome back to the Lion's Den. I want to first thank each and every one of you for your support in my last video. If you haven't yet watched it, please do. There's just been so much that has unfolded these last couple of weeks for me. And I really just appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to support me with everything that I'm doing right now. I can't breathe. I am hyper AF right now. And so just great energy. The day's been amazing. Today's video is not gonna be that long. This might be my shortest video ever, and I might speak too soon just because once I start, I have a problem stopping. So we will see where this goes, okay? I wanted to say something. Oh, if you're not yet a part of the Lion's Den, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification button so you do not miss the Lion Den chat. Okay, we are each a lion in our own way, and I just want to embrace that. I want to embrace each and every one of you and this journey that we're on together. So with all that being said, as you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to be talking about gratitude. I have realized these last couple of weeks and really just my entire life, there's just been so much to be grateful for, and I don't think that we express our gratitude enough. I think because of human life, adulting life, we tend to get caught up in the nitty-gritty of bills and stress and our day-to-day expectations that we would rather spend more energy complaining about our circumstances than to be grateful for them. And once I've realized that when you change your perspective of how you view your life, there's just so much to be grateful for. We are so blessed, each and every one of us, even if it doesn't feel that way. It's really just how you're looking at your life. And so I just wanted to make this little video to express that gratitude, to hopefully give you a change of perspective on your life and the things you may be going through right now. I first want to touch base on how we view problems and hindrance in our life. A good friend of mine gave me the quote, "Your delay is not your denial." I think a lot of times whenever something gets in our way, or we're stopped from obtaining something in our life, whether that be a house, a car, a job, you name it, that we get hell-bent over it and we're like, screw this, my life sucks, why me, why does this always happen to me? But with that mentality, you fail to realize that you not getting that specific car or that specific house, that delay may be bringing you into your next blessing. That car may not have been for you. That house may have had so many issues that would have cost you more to fix it in the long run than to wait for a house that is built just for you and your family. Jobs. Whenever we are set on a position that we want and we don't get that job, you don't know from the outside looking in what type of things are going on in that job. You don't know if that's even the job that you really want. You just see a price on it, or a certain wage and something that you think you're good at or that you know you're good at. But in the long term, a month into working at that job, that may be your worst nightmare. And so instead of looking at it like, oh my gosh, why me? Think about why you didn't get that job, that car, that house, whatever it may be in the first place. Understand that you may be saved for something greater. And so I personally have been caught up in that mentality, especially in my current job, which I've talked to my boss before, so I feel very comfortable talking about it now. I have this problem where I feel like I want more always. I think that's all of our problem. This was a big thing for me back in school, where I would always try to take classes that challenged me. I would always take a higher honored class just so that I felt like I was doing something. If it was too easy and I was coasting through the class, I always felt that I needed more. And so reflecting that into my jobs now, I find myself always wanting to find another job or find another position that challenges my growth. And so where I'm at currently, I have a job where my day-to-day responsibilities do not challenge me in the way that I've previously been challenged. If I say challenged too many times in this video, my goodness, I'm so sorry. But I just feel like it doesn't ask a lot of me. And so because of what I'm used to and because of that internal urge for me to always be doing something, I don't know how to just relax. That's my problem. I always feel like I have to have so much on my plate, or I feel like I'm not doing enough. And so I got to a point when I initially started my position where I was just like, is this really what I want? Like, I don't feel fulfilled in that way. Or as far as my tasks go, I feel like I could always be doing more. And that's on me to figure out how I can, take initiative and find more things for me to do. But again, that's just my problem. What I failed to realize and what I've now come to understand is that my prayers from my last job, wanting to be able to breathe, to be able to sleep at night, to have a peace of mind, to be in a healthy environment, all of those prayers have been answered coming into this job. But because all I'm focusing on, or all I was focusing on, is the fact that I don't feel like my tasks are asking enough of me, then I get into this ungrateful mentality. And that's where I'm going with this video. We have to understand that a lot of our prayers have been answered. They may not be answered in the way that you see fit, but they have been answered. I came across this video recently, and it was just like, whether you believe it or not, you're living one of your prayers. And I think that is so true for each and every one of us. Where you are now is not where you were a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You are out of certain circumstances, out of certain situations that you were once in that you thought you would never make through. And so instead of us constantly finding something wrong in our lives, we have to consciously find things that are right and be grateful for them, because everything, and I say this all the time, will come to pass. Another thing, and if this is something that's hard for you, which we did an activity at one of our meetings where we had to find 10 different things we were grateful for. It can be hard because we're so used to finding things to complain about off the tip of our tongue. When you deliberately try to find something that you're grateful for, it's like pulling teeth almost. And that's not how it should be. Like, being able to wake up every day, being able to have a roof over your head, have a job to go to, being able to pay your bills, putting food on your table, those little minute things, so many people would want to be in your position. Being able to walk. This conversation I had with my coworkers, actually, I was folding clothes one day and I realized just how blessed I am to be able to just throw my clothes in the washer and then go about my business. There are people in other places, other countries that don't have that same privilege. You don't even have to think about it. That's a blessing. And we take it for granted. We take so many things for granted. And like I said before, so many people would die to be in our position. And if we could just take 1 second out of our day to just be like, I'm so thankful for everything that I have, everywhere that I am, we would be so much better off. We would not have as much stress and anxiety and depression that we have if we could just be thankful. As I said earlier, a lot of us have an issue with wanting more. But until you can fully accept and be grateful for what you already have, you will never be satisfied and you won't be able to obtain the more that you want, if that makes sense. If you don't appreciate the house that you're in, or the car that you have, or the job that you are currently positioned in, how can you ever get to a point where you can get a bigger house, a better car, a better job? If you're not satisfied here, you're never going to be satisfied. It takes a lot to consciously be grateful day in and day out, because like I said, it's easier to pinpoint what's wrong than it is to accept what's right in our lives. What I will say, if you have a hard time finding things to be grateful for, is to just look at the world around you. Yes, we have so much going on, whether that be the pandemic, political issues, poverty, things like that, that it saddens you, and I completely understand. It saddens me too. But just to realize like how beautiful our world is. I find myself often just admiring the trees, the birds, the clouds, like just how beautiful our world is every day. There's so much that you can find to be grateful for. Like our world, we don't have to do anything for it to flourish, except for take care of it. And so I don't want to get that misconstrued, but the earth, it grows by itself. The water that nourishes these plants, like that all comes from the earth, and we don't have to do anything. We just sit here and we embrace it. The birds, the same way that they're just flying and soaring so effortlessly. Oh my God, that just, like I was saying before I was really interrupted, my battery is about to die, so I'm gonna hurry up and get through this video. But yeah, the birds, I find myself every day just bird watching. Like I see the most beautiful, I would call them exotic because I've never seen them before, but they're probably just home based to Maryland. But they're just so beautiful and intricate and just mesmerizing, to say the least. And that's what I'm saying. Like we do not allow ourselves to appreciate these little things enough. Like I was walking one day to work and I saw the 3 most beautiful birds, and it brought tears to my eyes. The clouds really do speak to me on a daily basis. And I probably sound crazy saying this out loud, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like we do not take enough time to stop and smell the roses. That's the message, okay? We need to stop and smell the roses for once. We are so caught up in this day-to-day hustle and bustle, I think that's the terminology, that we do not allow ourselves to just breathe and enjoy life around us. And that's why we're so stressed out every day, because we do not allow ourselves to just let our hair down and just to enjoy life. That's all I'm trying to say. But yeah, just be grateful for where you're at. The biggest thing for me right now is understanding that the challenges or the problems or the blockages that we are so upset with, or that we're fighting so hard against, when you embrace them and really what they're trying to show you and to teach you and how they add to your growth every day, I think that, like I said, changing that perspective and really just taking it, I can't speak. My goodness. I'm sorry. If you didn't know, I'm a little weird. I'm not gonna cut that out, so enjoy my little antics. But yeah, taking it for what it is and not for what we proclaim it to be. I think that is the biggest thing that we can do. And like I said, just shifting your perspective. Don't take everything at surface level and just be like, screw it all. Really accept it, and life will be so good. Like life is good, like Drake and Future said, life is so good. And once we can really just love life instead of fighting it so much and being like, this is some doo-doo, we can really just have a happy, content life to live. I shared a TikTok recently. The TikTok was this man talking about how he was getting into journaling and how he realized every day his emotions would fluctuate. They'd be up and down. One day he's happy, one day he's sad, one day he's anxious. And then he realized that it was a metaphor for life. And how life is a wave, you know, constantly going up and down, crashing. Some waves are bigger than others. But instead of trying to control those waves, because we cannot control anything in this life other than how we react, he said we need to just learn how to be better surfers and learning how to ride those waves, regardless of how big they are, regardless of how scary and frustrating they may be, that we can learn to really just enjoy the ride. And so it brings me to this analogy that I've always had about life, and it being a never-ending roller coaster. The ride stops when we are done. So roller coasters are up and down, loops. Some go fast, some go high, some dip low really fastly. And my issue with roller coasters has always been that, like, in order for me to get through the ride, like, I'm just holding on, closing my eyes, like squeezing every muscle in my body so that I do not have to feel the fear or to feel the experience of the ride, right? But once I realized that it is so much fun to just scream and to let yourself be free in the ups and downs and the turns and all the drops that are there, like, the ride is actually really fun. And once we can, like I said, understand that that's all that life is, and that's all that we can do is just to enjoy the ride, life will be so much better for us. And to be grateful. That's it. Just be grateful. Be grateful for where you are. Be grateful for where you came from. I think a lot of us are always fighting our past and being like, started from the bottom, now we here. Like, yes, you did start from the bottom, but embrace that bottom, because if it wasn't there, you wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? So I just want each and every one of us to embrace our lives and be grateful for all that it is throwing at you, whether you like it or not. There's something to love, and you just have to be willing to find that thing to love in your life. I'm done talking because my brain is all over the place. So I hope that my message got through to you, got through to who it was supposed to get to. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. I'm grateful for this process. I'm grateful for myself, for pushing myself to do this, because where I was last year this time, I would never have put myself in this type of situation. Like, I in a million years would never feel comfortable putting myself into the public eye, making a fool out of myself, being in my skin. I was never comfortable in my skin, very much socially anxious. And now where I'm at, I'm just so grateful that I even experienced that, because I was able to push through all of those blockages that were once hindering me from being my full self, from accepting and embracing all that I am. So I'm so grateful that I'm able to do that every day, and that you guys enjoy my craziness as well. I hope that you guys continue to have an amazing journey and know that life is not perfect by any means necessary, but it is worth it. And one day all of your struggles will be worth it. You just have to find those moments for yourself, okay? Again, if you're not a part of the Lion's Den, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications so that you don't miss a video next week. And until next time, I'll catch you later.